Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, this video went absolutely viral all over Twitter, and I was a little confused as to why until I started reading the Twitter comments surrounding the video. Now, people have divided themselves, for the most part, into two sides, like they often do in this country, and I've said before, that's absolutely ridiculous. We all have to live here the same together, so why do we keep dividing ourselves on everything? We should be able to come to, a similar conclusion on some things at least. Now, I can see where both sides are coming from, but I wanted to add a different take to this video and what people are saying. Now, one thing I want to say first that kind of disturbs me about this generation and our society now, which is that it seems like some demographics of individuals tend to get dragged more, or it's more trendy to drag certain demographics of individuals, if you get my drift, for doing some of the same things that other demographics do, but they don't get dragged for. That's just something that I've noticed happening, like I said, all over social media now. That's really trendy and it's really disturbing. I'm just gonna say that much. Now, what you're seeing is a video of women dancing to black music. I had to mute it because this is YouTube, but they are dancing to urban R&B, rap, black, whatever you want to call it, music. This was some kind of Mardi Gras gathering, tour, celebration, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, they're just dancing to music at a gas station, basically. Now, everybody should know, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, that I'm a believer in God. So I don't support nor do I participate in the celebrations of holidays like Mardi Gras, Valentine's Day, Christmas, etc. And I believe that both men and women should be a positive example. We should carry ourselves in a respectful and modest manner wherever we go. So you can understand why I would say, after watching this video, okay, ladies, I think we need to put the Stanley Cups down and find something productive to do. But I am mature enough, I am empathetic enough, and compassionate enough, and respectful enough to say that without being misogynistic, without disrespecting them, without calling them out of their name. Once again, I don't know where in our society we have gotten to this place, how we've gotten to this place, where because somebody is doing something we don't agree with, or that it's not right, that it's not modest, we think we have the right to just drag them for filth. There were people calling these women all kinds of out of their names, basically chalking it up to, once again, and we're kind of exasperated with hearing this. I think I speak for everybody when I say this, but basically making these women the reason why, traditional relationships are dead and they have to go out of the country to find wives, and, there's no marriageable good women in the U.S. And that's just blatantly not the truth. One thing that I always try to tell people, being somebody who believes in God, being somebody who calls themselves a Christian, I cannot call myself a Christian and a believer in Christ if I don't show love and respect to people. I can't say, hey, ladies, let's not be out here dancing at the Mardi Gras festival to rap music at the gas station while also dragging them for filth. What kind of an example is that? And again, I question some of these people who keep trying to call these women out, and there wasn't just women dancing in that crowd, there were men too. So I'm questioning some of these people who keep saying, you women don't understand, this is where y'all got it wrong, this is why we don't want y'all anymore, y'all are buck wild and y'all don't want to understand. Well, part of the reason why they might not be understanding is because every time y'all open y'all's mouths, it's something disrespectful coming out of it. If you would show some kind of love and compassion and respect, maybe they would be a little more willing to understand and listen to what you're saying and willing to actually change. It's hard to get somebody's attention when you're constantly dragging them, when you're constantly blowing things out of proportion and blaming them for things that are actually quite ridiculous. Once again, I question some of these people because if you really wanted these women to see your point, you would switch up the method with which you're using to try and get their attention. Remember what they say about insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results? If you dragging them, like I said, and disrespecting them every time you turn around for something you don't agree with, that you could just mention in a respectful way, hasn't been working, why are you still doing it? Which is why, once again, I feel like that's really not even the goal with some of these people. They want some of these women to keep acting a certain way that they don't like because they like talking about them for it. They wouldn't have a platform, they wouldn't have clout, and some of them wouldn't be getting paid to talk about them if all these women actually got right and did what they wanted them to do. Which again makes me give them the side eye. Now, for anybody who's confused still on why people had an issue with the video, they see it as basically the poster child for people having a lack of morals and modesty in the modern time, not setting a good example, being out there, being loose with themselves, so to speak. Now, another reason why I personally thought some of these people, specifically some of these white people, had a problem with it is because they were dancing to black music. We gotta tell the whole truth and we gotta shame the whole devil, okay? At first, I thought I was just tripping, but then I came across two tweets. One that mentioned, well, they're dancing to black music, so that probably pissed them off. And then I came across this one. Just take a good read. It's also going to cause some division amongst people who are very hell-bent on dividing themselves politically. The whole right versus left, conservative versus liberal, because you have people who are conservatives who think everything black, black-owned, black-made is by default left, and loose morals, which is not the truth and actually quite racist. But not only do these people feel this way and it's causing a political divide, it's also causing a racial divide and allowing them the justification of their racism by falling back on, no, I'm just conservative and it's not my fault that you lefties have these loose morals and I'm just trying to stand for what's right. So what's the point, you might ask? Not only are they mad because once again they feel like these women should be the picture, the poster children, if you will, for morality and modesty, but they're also angry because they feel like now you're acting like the blacks, which they have tried to make synonymous once again with loose morals, with ratchetness, with ghetto-ness, and with the left. Once again, the devil is a good liar, and all these people with their racism and their internalized racism are good liars too, because not all black people are ratchet, not all black people are ghetto, not all black people are liberals. There are black people who respect themselves, who carry themselves with modesty, who do the right thing. I just had to point that out. Well, one, because it's still Black History Month, and two, because I believe in pointing out everything. I don't believe in being stupid or superficial when it comes to certain issues, because that is how the real issue gets overshadowed. And everything else that needs to be talked about, because it's going to be talked about on this channel. And while we're on the subject, I'm going to add that I don't believe they would have gotten the same amount of backlash if they would have been doing a different dance and if they would have been dancing to, say, Taylor Swift. And the both ironic and hypocritical thing about that is Taylor Swift is about as immoral and immodest as all the other artists in the industry, black, white, or otherwise, who makes music. And before anybody tries to argue that Taylor Swift is not immoral or immodest, this is the same Taylor Swift who has a slew of ex-boyfriends. The same Taylor Swift who was crawling underneath the twerkers in the Shake It Off video. The same Taylor Swift who took a page out of the Beyonce one-piece bodysuit ensemble that she likes to wear during her concerts. And she ain't singing gospel music at them concerts either. Now, one more thing I still want to reiterate before I wrap this little discussion up. Once again, how do you expect these people who you claim are doing all this wrong, who you're calling out for not being, modest enough or moral enough, how do you really expect them to change once again if when you talk about them like they're the absolute worst thing that has happened to humanity, that they are absolutely irredeemable, that you're, oh my God, so ashamed of them because of the things that they are doing. These people out here that y'all are talking about, they're not stupid. They see what you're saying, they hear what you're saying, they're listening to what you're saying, and they know what it really means, how you really feel about them deep down inside. You don't actually care about them. You just want to make sure they don't make you look bad. They could be out here crashing out, self-destructing, going through a whole lot, need help, need advice. Y'all don't care about that. But oh my God, if they make your race look bad, your group look bad, your political party look bad, how dare they? Then you proceed to treat them like a stain on society. See, I would have figured by now people would realize that usually whenever you treat people like that, they keep doing what you don't want them to do, because either they're petty like that or they feel like, well, you don't care about me anyways, you think so poorly of me anyways, I'm not about to try and change your mind, so may as well keep doing what I'm doing. But see, it's easy to disrespect people, it's easy to generalize and stereotype, it's easy to be hateful, malicious, racist. It's easy to drag people for what you don't like and don't agree with. It's too much like right, though, to have a little grace and mercy and understanding and have a little more compassion and respect about our approach to some of these issues. Two other things I want to leave with you all is that if you drag one, then you've got to drag them all. If you drag one particular issue, then you've got to talk about it where it applies in every situation, to every person, to every demographic, lest you be a hypocrite. And let's be careful about what we say, about who we say it about, because what can be said about one can be said about the other or another. or ourselves. Let's not nurture any unnecessary resentment for random people we don't know, and let's not nurture any self-righteousness either. Because that self-righteousness, whether you want to believe this or not, would make you no better than the people who lack morals, who lack integrity, who lack self-respect, who lack modesty, because self-righteousness is basically pride, and we all know that pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, and it's also what got the devil kicked out of heaven. So, like I said, no better than the other people doing what they're doing. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below respectfully. And the key word is respectfully, because they had some mad disrespectful people in the comment section of one of them previous videos that I just dropped recently. Everybody loves to boast about the freedom of speech on these little platforms, but you also have this thing called freedom of consequences. I never turn the comments off on these videos because I do want to know what people are thinking, and if, there's somebody who has genuine questions or are confused about anything. But if anybody gets out of pocket, not only are they gonna get rebuked, but they also getting blocked too, so keep that in mind. But other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.